Skee TV coming to you from Sunset and Vine, and it is my honor to welcome in hip-hop royalty. Make some noise for the one and only Raekwon. What's up, sir?
All right.
You just tore it down over there. The crazy thing, it's funny, you started off with C.R.E.A.M 22 years later. Did you think, when you guys first recorded that, Shaolin and the Celebs, did you think that you'd be in Hollywood still performing that record?
Nah, not at all. I mean, you know, they say a rapper's time span is 5 years in the business. And I always thought that was true, you know, based on the fact of, you know, you get your 15 minutes of fame, but I guess I made one of those records that, you know, everybody say is one of those type of records.
What was that moment that got you into music and let you know that this is what you were gonna do?
It was, you know, it was the way out the neighborhood, man. You know, either you gonna be an athlete or you was good with music, and I think that the music factor, it really brushed off on me. You know, just like I said, you know, I tell any kid, the talent is within, and I think that that's what I found in myself, that the music would be my way out, and just being around that energy of people, it just happened.
We just had Bust up here, and he was talking about how he went to the same high school with Jay and Big, all of them at the same time. What was it like just being in that environment with all your Wu members in New York being so hot at the time, and just being around that? Looking back on that, is that something that you think will ever happen in hip hop or in music again?
I mean, I don't see why it can't. I mean, you know, it's just all about the festivities that make you want to feel like that.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's what we was more into, is just getting excited about, you know, events that was happening. You know, when Raekwon first came to, you know, Staten Island, there was this place called the Park Villa, which was in our neighborhood, maybe like 5 or 10 minute ride away. But, you know, just when you know that big artists come to your neighborhood or even be close, that meant something for us. And we would go where they was at, and we would just study them, just look at them up and down, and just listen to the music. And next thing you know, you captivated by their lifestyle, and you want that lifestyle to be your lifestyle. You know, whether you was doing it for, you know, professionally, or you just doing it in the neighborhood. You know, for us, knowledge was important, you know. And we would listen to guys like Raekwon, we would listen to Kane, we would listen to Slick Rick, and they had so much wordplay and so much knowledge and wits and intellect all combined in that music. It was just teaching us something. It was like going to school for music.
Welcome back to Skee TV. We are here with the legend Raekwon, who's got a new project that just dropped, Fly International Luxurious Art. It's a deep name. I love the wordplay and everything that you say. So why Fly International Luxurious Art?
That title come from, it's about an energy that I receive in the business, and just being able to make it, you know, and still be here. That's where I feel like I'm at. It's a personality. It's a description of how I feel about myself today.
Yeah.
You know, being fly, being a person that still is keeping up with the Joneses, having that international presence now, and basically giving you quality music, which is my luxury art.
And now you're doing more than just the music, the documentary.
Yeah.
Purple Tape Files.
Yeah, the 20 years, man, 20 years ago.
This August, it's gonna be 20 years. How does that feel?
It's beautiful.
It's crazy, right?
It don't feel that long though.
I know it doesn't.
It don't feel like 20 years ago, but you know, it's a blessing. You know, of course, you feel like you got older, you know, but more importantly though, I think I still feel like I still got the energy to keep making albums.
But what was the most fun record for you to make?
I would say definitely around that time, I would say definitely the Wu-Tang Forever album.
Great
album. That was a double CD. That's when we got an opportunity to, you know,
that's when you went
that's when we went Hollywood, and we came out here, and you know, first time in LA, and they like, yo, we gonna put you in these houses right here. You gonna live here. You gonna record in some of the top studios in Los Angeles. And when we did that album right there, it was like, we was having fun. I was going to the ATM like 3 times a day, taking out strictly 500, like, yo, just spending money every day buying clothes. And You know, but I would say definitely when we came out here, because you know we did Wu-Tang Forever out here.
Yeah.
We sat up in the Oak Woods. You know, all of us, we had our
temporary
own
apartments, and
had
everybody
our own
lives
apartments.
in. Yep.
You know, our own washers and dryers and renting cars.
The good old industry budgets allowed records back in the day.
Spending money and not even realizing you spending your own money, but we still was spending a lot of money. But yeah, it was just all of us out here just really giving it our all, you know.
Crazy times. It was also, you guys also paved the way too, because you had an interesting deal. Because typically, I mean, you even look at NWA, it was when you signed a group deal, it was every artist on there was, you know, signed to that same label. You guys were all able to kind of go out on your own. How do you feel that you guys kind of paved the way for artists to take control of their careers in the business level?
I think that, you know, we did something that people didn't expect, you know, and we also went with our heart because, you know, back then it was hard to get a record deal. You know, you'd be lucky if you get 2 people signed at the same time. But
right.
For us, we all felt like this is what it is, either take it or not. You know, and what we did do that was smart was we didn't take a lot of money, but we took the right deal. And people, you know, I guess they just gravitated and said, you know what, I want to come in with my crew, you know, fresh out the street with a little bit of knowledge, you know, but more with a lot of art, with a lot of, you know, entertainment involved with us. You know, we knew that we had entertainment, but we knew we had a lot of pieces that made sense to individual albums.
Yeah.
So, you know, we went in there and we told them, yo, look, we ain't worrying about the money right now, but we gotta have the deal this way. And they went for it and they believed it, you know?
Live from our set at the LA Film School, I'm DJ Skee. He is Raekwon, the chef, as you hear people yelling out in the background. So, talking about your history, I know you guys, when you went across the world, what country embraces Wu-Tang and Raekwon the most?
You'd be surprised though. I mean, it's
Japan?
Japan is definitely one of our top 5 markets.
Yeah.
But I would say definitely Germany.
Germany goes
London, Paris.
Okay.
Italy.
How was that competition for you guys? Was there ever like, you know,
It's always competition.
Thing? Really?
Yeah, like I said, I learned from all those dudes, man. You know, when it come to wordplay, you know, RZA, Jizza saying the most illest words, and then flows. I look at Method Man, you know, Meth can rhyme fast, he can rhyme slow. Then Ghost with the imaginary, you know, the visionary style. You know, me and him would relate on that level. So, you know, we all fed off each other, and for me, I think that made me a better artist because I had so many of my brothers around me with so many different styles that, you know, Dirty, just his crazy
energy,
style,
right?
you know, and you know, it was all of us, man, collectively that made us all great.
Was there a record that you remember that you because I know there's competition and not everybody made every record. Is there a lost Raekwon verse out there that you're like, that should have made it, that was hard, sure? Which record would it have been from?
I missed a lot of records though, man. You know,
is there one specific that stood out though where you're like, man?
I remember I wanted to be on an SWB record back. Word,
but come up with the lost tapes.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's some things out there though, but they got some of the stuff we lost as well too in the flood.
Yeah.
You know, RZA had a flood back in the when we did the first album, so it was a lot of music that we made that just got wiped out because he had a flood in his house.
Wow.
And never heard them records again.
So you got an incredible lineup on the album too. I want to talk about everybody that's on there. I mean, you got Ghost, obviously, A$AP Rocky, French, Busted, 2 Chainz, Snoop, Melanie, Assassin, Rose, Estelle. I mean, dude, it's like an all-star lineup.
This is my first time making an album like that,
right? Because usually it's the core crew, and you might get a couple here and there, but it's relatively tight. What made you want to go that direction this time?
I mean, they call me the chef for a reason.
Yeah.
You know, they don't call me that because you make the same turkey burgers all the time. You know, you gotta give them this. You gotta make pizza. You gotta make lasagna. You gotta, you know, do everything. So that name, you know, I believe that your name represents you.
Yeah.
And me, I'm just gonna give you a different dish. And I felt like it was time for me to do something different. You know, it was time for me to go reach out to the people that I look up to as well, because I'm a fan of all those guys that's
great
on my
line.
album, and I wanted to make that kind of album this time.
That's
you
real.
know, because I think people deserve something different from me every now and then.
One last question for you before you get out of here. You still got one more performance on the stage coming up. One record that would define your career, if somebody was only to hear one song, it could be a Wu song, a Ray song, whatever, what record is that? It could be your favorite one. If you had one song left to play, when somebody said Raekwon.
It's a hard one, man, because it's so many records I made,
So
you
many.
know.
That's why I'm
But
asking the tough questions.
I would definitely say C.R.E.A.M. You know, that's to me one of the records that really define where I come from, my personality. You know, just from the beginning to the end of the verse, you know, to the end of Inspector Deck's verse, like that was something that we all really will never forget, that life, you know, and for me just to paint a picture like that, and you know, it was kind of like going back to my roots again, and to where, you know, where I started at. So it was like, I would say that record right there.
You gotta love it.
It was a classic joint right there.